Today we're making on a shingle, but vegan. Okay, this is like just a super staple kind of thing that everybody's probably had at some point in their life. And if you haven't, it's cream chip beef on toast.
Some people refer to it as S.O.S, so we're sticking with that. So this is seitan on a shingle.
Okay, so because this is a seitan, that means we need some vital wheat gluten to get started. This is a pretty simple seitan recipe, so let's just go through it. What do we got?
1 cup of vital wheat gluten, please.
Now you can make this more or less as you like. This generally serves about 4. So should I cut it in half or should I do the whole thing?
We could always use extra seitan.
Yeah, she's got a point. Okay, so 1 cup of vital wheat gluten.
A slightly controversial ingredient, and that's instant coffee. We're gonna be doing half a teaspoon.
Just like a little pinch. Now what this does is it adds a little bit of like that beefy flavor to the seitan. You don't need much.
Next up is the Wonder Twins, garlic powder and onion powder. We're gonna be adding a full teaspoon of each.
2-fisted. Now these recipes are kind of flexible too. I mean, you can add a little bit more, a little bit less. If you really don't like garlic powder, you don't have to add it. If you really don't want to add the coffee, you don't have to add it. They do add up, but you can get something similar. What else?
All right, now we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika.
And yeah, I eyeball it, because I always eyeball it. If you've watched the show before, you know that. The smoked paprika really does add a nice meaty element to it. And I mean, you can smell it already. It's amazing.
A half teaspoon of black pepper.
That's about that much.
2 tablespoons of chickpea flour.
Now this adds a little bit of, it's like a dough conditioner. So 2 tablespoons. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I wouldn't leave it out. If you don't have chickpea flour, you can use nutritional yeast. You can use basically any flour, really. I've even been experimenting with, believe it or not, all-purpose flour, and it works.
And then for some color and additional flavor, beet root powder.
Yes, a lot of people will try to leave this out, and I feel like if you leave out the beetroot, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. It really does add just this little bit of extra earthiness that works really well for a meat-like product.
We're only going to be adding a teaspoon, so it's not going to create a beet-like
Oh no,
flavor.
it doesn't taste like beets at all.
So don't worry about it if you don't like beets. I don't particularly like beets.
I love beets.
But I enjoy the beet root powder in our seitan.
And then mix this up. So that's all dry, right?
Yes.
If you don't mix this up, what'll happen is when you add any liquids, it's just gonna get in one area and not the rest, and it won't be evenly distributed. You will not have a homogeneous product.
Now we're gonna add some moisture and flavor with soy sauce. We're gonna do a full tablespoon of soy sauce.
Now soy sauce adds not only moisture and flavor, but it's also gonna act as our salt. It's the only salty thing we're gonna be putting in this. And add
a tablespoon of white wine vinegar.
Don't skimp on this either. Even people that don't like vinegar, it helps to get some of that vital wheat gluten flavor out of the seitan, so it doesn't taste so cereal-y, kind of.
And then water. We're gonna go with 3/4 of a cup water.
Yep. Now, I usually will only add so much water and then keep adding. This time, I tested this recipe a couple times, so it's fine. So I'm going with the whole 3/4. And then mix. Now, at first, it looks kind of nasty. You just want to start getting all that dry mixed in. And I like using this plastic bowl and a big spoon. It's just a big soup spoon. And as you can see, it's starting to come together slowly. Just keep mixing and mixing and mixing. After a minute or two of mixing and scraping the sides, which is why I like to use a spoon with this plastic bowl, so I can just scrape down the sides and get everything out, it should start to look like this. I got some dry areas still, and that's okay. We're just gonna keep mixing it and scraping the sides down. But at some point, you gotta use the best tools you got, and that's your hands. So I like to just get in there and grab it and scrape those sides down. Get every last bit of it. I mean, you paid for all this stuff. You might as well get to eat it. I mean, all of it. This bowl should be like clean when we're done. All that's left is a little bit of liquid residue. All right. Now we have our mass of seitan. It's already starting to form some strands, which is nice, but I want to give it even more. Generally speaking, the cream chip beef is made from a really tough cut of meat a lot of times, or a cheaper cut, because it is kind of a, I don't like to say the word poverty food, but it is a food that has come out of necessity and little means. It's a very inexpensive food, in other words. So it's not the easiest cut of meat, but also because seitan, when it cooks in a liquid, will tend to expand a bit. So I want this to start out as firm as I can get it so that if it does soften up a little bit, it's still okay. And it doesn't take much, just a couple minutes of kneading and you start to go, yep, this is about as firm as it's gonna get. And I like to just kind of keep smoothing it around like that. And if it forms that skin like that, you know you're good. All right, so once we have it this way, now I want to get out a little piece of parchment to set this on. So I really just need like a little tiny square, but I'm going to do the crumple method because I like to do it. That means it'll lay flat. And then we're going to grab our Instant Pot. If you don't want to use an Instant Pot or you don't have one, you can also just steam this. Put it in a bamboo steamer or any kind of steamer. You're going to steam it for about an hour. In the Instant Pot, it takes 35 minutes or so. But what I need to do is I have the steamer insert. I'm just gonna put some water in the bottom here. Just a cup or two, not enough that it comes through the grate in my steamer. And now, take our seitan, plop it on the parchment, drop it in the Instant Pot, and that's gonna go on high pressure for about 35 minutes. All right, so after the Instant Pot finishes, we are left with our seitan. And it's firm, but not like that chewy, gummy thing. But for now, I just wanna let this sit and cool for a little bit because it's really hot and I have to cut it up and I don't wanna burn my hands. So let's make the gravy that this is gonna go into. Okay, to make the gravy, I'm gonna have just our pan on the stove. The heat is not on quite yet because we have some things to put in here first. First up is 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. Next up is a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of thyme. And then, you know, this is optional, but a little salt and a pinch of black pepper to taste. And then I'm gonna add 2 cups of, this is almond milk, but any non-dairy milk would work just fine. And now I wanna whisk this up. That's why I didn't turn the heat on yet, because it'll just make clumps and cook weird and, you know, lumpy gravy is not good. Nobody really wants lumpy gravy. So give it the whiskey business. Another thing that you want to do is get your bread ready because, you know, you got to put it on a shingle, which is the bread. I don't know why they call it a shingle because these don't look like shingles to me. But just using a regular like French loaf that I got from Walmart, cutting a couple of pieces. We're just making a quick sample for the camera, you know. The rest we'll save for another day. I'm just going to throw these in the toaster, give them a nice light toast. That's it. Okay, after a couple of minutes of whisking, I have almost all the lumps gone. So now I'm going to turn our stove up to about 3.98. It's like medium low. And what's gonna happen is as this heats up, it's going to thicken because of the flour. You wanna keep whisking though. All right, while the gravy is coming up to temp, let's cut our seitan. And the way I do it is very, very thin slices. Just super thin. Something like that. Now, as I always say, in a perfect world, you'd probably put this in the fridge overnight and let it cool. I don't live in a perfect world. I don't know anybody that does, so we just use it. It's got a good flavor. That's good. So normally I would cut up all of this and put it all in, but because I know we're gonna be storing this, I'm gonna keep the seitan separate. That way it doesn't swell up too much from sitting in the liquid. So that's one storage option, is to keep the gravy, then the seitan separate. Obviously the toast. Just make the toast before you're about to eat. You don't wanna do that. All right, so once I get them cut like that, that's kind of big. So I'm just gonna stack them up and kind of cut them in half just to make it more of a bite-sized piece. And wow, it's retaining its heat nicely. There's steam coming off of it. This will go in the gravy in just a couple minutes. All right, so our gravy is starting to thicken up, as you can see. When it comes to a full boil, that's when flour gravies are going to be their thickest. So you'll see bubbles every now and then. Yep, there's some bubbles. It's just about there. So now I'm gonna add our seitan. And remember, normally you'd have more than this. I'm just using this little bit just to show for the video. And now I'm gonna turn the heat down to like off. That wouldn't be down, that'd be off. And just get the seitan in there, get it coated. Once it's all coated up, it is time to plate. And to plate, it's really easy. You put toast, then you put some of this on top with the gravy. All right, now the best time of every cooking video, we get to eat this. I remember this as a kid, and I was in the military, so I got to have it there too. It obviously wasn't this version, but the memory is still kind of there. And it's one of those, like, you either loved it as a kid or hated it. I think most people have a fond remembrance of it. There you go, babe. That's for you.
Oh, that's for me?
I made you up a fork.
Oh.
Trying to be proactively nice. How's that?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I messed up my own, but that's okay. All right, you ready? Here we go.
The gravy is just like a warm hug.
Yep, that's exactly it. And I like the addition of the thyme into it. Just adds a little extra because the white gravy can be a little bit boring without it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think this is fantastic.
So we already talked about storage options, the best being in your belly, of course.
Yes.
But if you cook the gravy and the seitan separately and you store them separately, then you can have this be like a convenience meal.
Yeah.
And you can put it together whenever, however, in just minutes.
You just want to make sure that you reheat it in a pan. You may even need to add a little bit more water or non-dairy milk to that gravy to get it to loosen up. Because if you microwave it, it's going to get gloopy and weird. And then throw in your seitan, heat it through, good to go. So go ahead and make this. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on The Bistro.